Good evening to all our panelists.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Thank you so much for taking out time on a Saturday evening. It's a pleasure to see you on a weekend, taking out time to be on this show. So are we ready, ma'am?
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. So welcome to ICAM show. My name is Sid Baliga. So we're going to discuss about a very important and crucial topic, and that's why we have chosen a weekend so that even the audience who are seeing us live, watching us live, can hear about this and maybe contribute or ask questions that may be relevant. Before we begin, let me introduce the panelists to our audience who are watching us. So we have with us Chitra Chatterjee, madam from Morning Glory School, Bokaro. We also have with us Moushami madam from SDSM School, Jamshedpur, and Sunita Sinha madam from Mount Litera Z School, Jamshedpur. So welcome to the show again, ma'am. So coming to the topic, we keep hearing about automation, robotics, and so on, and very exciting stuff that people are eager to learn about. We keep seeing it in the news, hearing in the news how technology is, progressing. But at the same time, there is a section of people which is a little worried, anxious, because that is causing loss of jobs also, robotics and automation. We are now today going to discuss about this particular aspect and its implications and impact on the education sector. While people are excited again about online learning, e-learning, on-demand courses, self-paced learning, these are the terminologies that are being used in the edtech sector today, where you can join anytime, just log on and listen to lectures. Are we somewhere progressing to an era where we are going to be taught by robots? In fact, many schools in India, in fact in Bangalore, where I reside, I have seen schools deploying robots to teach certain subjects, especially mathematics to begin with, to students. And that is, of course, on a pilot basis, on a test basis. But do you think this is going to be the way forward? And if yes, how? And if no, why not? So these are some of the things we are going to ponder throughout the next 45 minutes or so. So to begin with, I would like to hear one reason, maybe starting with Chitra madam, and then we will move on to Moushami madam and Sunita madam, why this may happen. Do you foresee this happening, and why it may happen very soon? Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you. You just can I clarify your question a little more? You want to know why, one reason why automation, that is robots, cannot replace teachers, right?
Correct.
Right. So see, there are n number of reasons why. We all know, as per the creation of nature, we are humans and robots are machines. So can a machine replace a human? Certainly not. Then when we, as you spoke of collaboration, collaborative learning. So collaboration and innovation, one of the reasons why teachers will always be predominant, because a robot is actually programmed, right? The programming is done and robot has to work accordingly. Maybe if this pandemic time is the best example, where if robots could replace teachers, you and me would not be talking online now, isn't it? So robots will certainly supplement, enhance teachers' learning. Robots will give maybe more output in terms of context knowledge to the learners. But the application of knowledge has always got to come from through the teachers. Besides, there is a human touch factor. Right? That human touch cannot be procured through the or attained through the robots. If all of us agree to this point. And the robots, we are all humans. The entire universe is energy. From a science background, I can say the entire universe is energy, and energy is again emotion, because both are dynamic. And emotional quotient is not there at all with the robot. The robot can work along with humans. It is the, as you said, collaborative robot, cobots. Cobots are there to supplement teachers' teaching. because technology has its implication. Now, the second point, which I feel like highlighting, is the critical thinking aspect. The critical thinking aspect, which is more of use now. Maybe when we were students, that was not much of an implication those days, or maybe it came spontaneously within us, it was innate. But now the critical thinking has to be aroused, has to be inculcated through the teacher's help only. So critical, as per a recent report by PwC, that it's estimated that 30% of job in UK has been automated. But then nothing in the education sector. If robots could replace teachers, then first education sector would have had robots. We do have robots to enhance teaching learning process, but certainly not as a replacement. And finally, I made because every individual is unique, but all robots are the same.
Right.
Robots are programmed the same. Every individual God's creation is unique. Two acronyms I have made because the teachers have care and caution, which the robot doesn't have. Now, what does this care mean? The teachers have the power of inculcating creativity in children, which the robot lacks. The teachers advise them, the teachers get that association and accountability for students' performance, the robot lacks that. The teachers build rapport, the human relationship, which is of utmost importance, especially at this point of time. No robot on this earth has given yet. Then the empathy. Empathy cannot be generated in a robot. So this is the care factor of the teachers. And when we go to the caution, we as teachers, teachers are always there to guide children, to caution them, to catch their errors, to correct them. So the caution reflects to arousing curiosity. The learning cannot be 100% without curiosity. So that the teacher can do, not the robot. And address them how to meet the challenges of life successfully, because life has no set syllabus of physics, chemistry, robotics.
Right.
It has to prepare the students for meeting the challenges of life. The U stands for understanding the growing brain. The teachers at the pre-primary level and the teachers at the +2 level, they understand the growing stages, the developmental stages, the psychology, the Bloom's taxonomy, and all the B.Ed and the CTET is all about that, which cannot be taken, which has not been taken care of robot, and I feel it's not in the next 20 years it could be done. Next is the thinking skills. Robots' thought process and human thought process differs. So robot cannot instill the thinking skills in children. The I stands for inspiring them. The whole world, the entire teaching process works on inspiration. Better the inspiration by the teacher, better the performance. More the inspiration by the administration, better the performance of the teachers. Then going on to the ownership factor, which is there today, which is the need of the hour, can be instilled or inculcated through the teachers. And finally, teachers will enable children to navigate fake news, to understand and learn, and not to get carried away with anything like not the value system, which I mean to say. So the care and caution both are given by the teachers, and robots, though created, have not done it yet. So I don't think they can replace teachers.
I think you made a fantastic point especially about the automation part happening in Europe and UK in particular. I think that's a very nice point that you made. Just taking that point forward to Sunita ma'am, is it that this automation part in Europe, which ma'am has mentioned now, if education may be on the radar, first they wanted to automate other industries and then reach education? That is point one. Is that a possibility that may happen?
Yeah. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a possibility. When first interactive boards came, there was a lot of hue and cry with the teachers that we have to use these boards, and now we teachers have no work. And there was a lot of hue and cry about it. With this automation, yes, they are coming to education, but yes, these robots, they are being used in Bangalore also. They are trying that, and also in Japan, the schools. Now, what is happening? They've done a study in Japan, and they found that the children are becoming very mechanical. I was just reading about it. In fact, they're using the robot's language. They're behaving like them. You see, what is the Litera theory? He had said that we learn through observing others, through experiences of others. Now, what is happening if you see the robots every day? the children are going to learn only what the robots are doing. But where is that emotional, the connection, the relationship? You think that, with automation, okay, it is, robots are necessary for the automation, for the people where you have to, where you can teach them the skills. Definitely, it will assist. It will definitely come into schools. In another 10 years, most of the schools will be having robots. But yes, they will be there to assist the teacher. Because see, how will the robot be able to control the varying behavioral challenges? Impossible. Will it depend on the curriculum?
Ma'am, you're not audible.
Will it be able to change the curriculum according to the different learning styles? Will it assist the students in overcoming the stress and anxiety? It will not be able to do it. It's not going to replace. Will it provide social interaction? Okay, maybe whatever the question asked, the child may ask, the robot may be able to answer. Like in the US, there was this professor who had conducted the class, and the children couldn't make out that it was actually a robot, except one child who said the only difference was that the person who was teaching was answering my questions very fast. So that was the difference. But yes, that connection is not there. Can a robot report back to the parents on the personal, development of the child, or the personal observation of the learning process? Can he gauge the mood of the class? We are thinking of artificial intelligence. Yes, they are going into research and innovation and artificial intelligence and augmented reality. Yes, they are adding to our teaching learning process. It is helping to clear the concepts of the children. But when it comes to the 5 basic emotions, the love, the hatred, the anger, the sadness and fear, who's there to connect? See, when we were small, we say, okay, if anything happens, the teacher is there. The children listen more to the teacher than to the parents, even if the teacher is wrong. So how can it happen with robots? And the robots in the lesson plans, according to the parents, based on the unexpected contingencies. Can they interact with the colleagues, improve the learning, and they say anecdotes of their life experiences, which a teacher can do, they cannot replace. But yes, with this automation, it will definitely come in schools, but it will always be, supporting the teacher, but cannot replace the teacher at all.
Great. So before we move on to the next point, which I have in mind, Chitra ma'am, if you are now comfortable, I would like to hear from you about, whether robots can really replace human teachers in the near future. You're not audible. I think you're on mute.
I am Chitra Chatterjee. Can you listen to me?
Yes, you're audible now.
Good evening, everyone. I am Mrs. I'm Chitra Chatterjee. I run a school, that is preparatory school. The name of the school is Morning Glory, which is situated in Sector 5, Bokaro Steel City. And I run the school for last 40 years. And according to my experience and according to my opinion, a robot cannot replace a teacher. Teacher has different role. Actually, it's a completely preparatory school, and we prepare children in a very tender age. And students for the range of 3 to 7, they used to come to our school. And we make the very foundation and very basic of the children. So if we put a robot instead of a teacher, then children will not learn at all. So whatever will be taught to the students, that should be done by the teacher. But for the present scenario of the COVID-19, we have implemented this online classes also, and through online video, audio, and in different mode of media, because there is no other way to teach the children. Right. So we have to implement this idea, but according to that, children are not learning properly. Teachers, they utilize their emotional quotient, which is very important for the children. And if the teachers, the principals, teachers, they will not check the children's performance in every level, their power of confidence, their standard of writing, their standard of speed, their standard of personal development, everything. Everything we want to check in our school, which is not possible by media or robot. Robot only we can program. We can do some programming on robot. And whatever input we'll give to install to the robot will convey that part only. It doesn't have any own choice and own implementation. So if a teacher, child or student have real some queries in their mind, a robot cannot answer it. Because if we input some high power to the robot, then also robot only from the given, whatever the had been given to the robot, it can convey that much only. But a teacher, they have large experience and they drill the children well. So the role of teachers is, in our country, it is immense, not in our country, in all the country, but especially for our country where the unemployment is very, you cannot see, unemployment is vast. You want to avoid this unemployment, then we cannot implement a robot instead of a teacher.
Very valid point, ma'am. Very valid point. I just want to take this point from here. You mentioned about unemployment, and if we still put robots on the job, it's going to create more unemployment. Now, Moushami ma'am, coming to you about this unemployment problem. Moushami Das madam, my question to you is that we are a free market. We are a free market, unlike socialist markets. So demand and supply will define whether we require teachers and what kind of teachers, how many schools we want to open in the next 5 years, 10 years. Especially the new education policy says that we have to scale up very quickly. And so many good teachers getting in 5 years is going to be very, very challenging. Is that one of the reasons or possibilities that schools might start putting robots in place of teachers instead of trying to get new teachers, train them, which is going to be time consuming?
Thank you. See, as I had said before, as I had just said, that robots cannot replace teachers, but certainly can enhance their teachings. But the question that you're asking now is very valid, and connecting it to the unemployment factor. So if the teacher's teaching has to be, learning has to be enhanced, then certainly there will be no replacement. And as you are from Bangalore, so what more should I say? In Bangalore, Mr. Vignesh Rao, the Chief Design Officer, who has designed the robot for collaborative learning model. So that model says the teacher, the students, and the robots, they will work together in a classroom. So there is no question of unemployment there. There is the question of more employment of robots. And when there is more employment, so the teachers won't be replaced. Rather, IT professionals will be inducted to help the robot's function. Then the robot is going to give the delivery of content as per the collaborated learning, which I had read, had come across when these robots came into existence by the great scientist who has designed it. Then teachers are going to teach how to analyze. Teachers are going to give them the application of the knowledge. And then students are going to learn the outcome. Learning outcome will be on students, like from the students rather. So this calls for more employment, rather, if we see from a broader perspective. That it's not, and the fear factor that teachers will lose their job is only when teachers are not empowered, when they are not trained. When they don't get trained, the teachers need to get trained to collaborate and learn. And the actual growth, I feel, is in collaboration, not in competition. And robot is not a human factor to compete with. Rather, we should accept it as a way of, enhancing our teaching, learning as per the need of the hour. And I feel if robots are there in the schools, it should supplement the teaching of the teachers, because at this point of time, when online, offline teaching both are going together, and teachers are having a hard time. All of us know that. So with this collaborative learning, with the cooperative learning, robots should increase employment rather than, leading to unemployment, because there'll be other factors responsible for unemployment. Maybe he cannot make a statement whether the employment will increase or unemployment will increase. Depending on the situation, depending on the need of the hour, the decisions will be taken and things will function or unfold accordingly. But I remember I had come across Michael Osborne, the associate professor in machine learning at the University of Oxford. He has summarized, creativity is the most difficult human faculty to automate. Robots are unlikely to be fully creative anytime soon. So we don't know what's going to happen 20, 25, 30 years hence. But as of now, I don't think that should be a threat for the teaching community if robots come into existence and if robots are functional all over our country. Yeah. Rather, we should take robots as our helping hands. So it is not that one instance, if I may quote, when the school grows in size, because we are in the education sector, when the institution grows in size, we appoint teachers, more teachers. We don't ask the older teachers to leave and then.
I think that's the point I'm trying to make, Moushami ma'am. I think that's the right point. You said the teacher and robot will coexist, but you also made a point about expansion. So like that, if now tomorrow Jharkhand and Bihar together decide to have another 500 or 1,000 schools in next 3 to 5 years, where will the teachers come from? The teachers will not be trained overnight. So that exactly is the point. If all states in India decide to scale up education and have more schools in every state, where are these new teachers going to come from? Hiring is not going to happen from air. There are not so many teachers available in the market.
Yeah, so I said, no, we have to induct many IT professionals as teachers. So now it will become global, more globalization. You know, exchange not only between robotics and teachers, between different institutions, different fields, different areas, different careers, all integration will occur actually now.
Okay. So I will take this question to Sunita ma'am again. Sunita madam. Yeah, I'll come back to you, Chitra madam. First, I will ask Sunita madam if you're around.
Okay.
Sunita ma'am, are you there? I think we have lost her. Yeah, Chitra ma'am. So would you like to answer the same question? If Bihar, Jharkhand decides to scale up and have 500 schools, how will we have new teachers? Are we going to train IT professionals or are we going to get teachers who have got B.Ed? I mean, those many teachers don't exist today in the system. So where are these new teachers going to come from? Or is robots the solution for that problem? That's my question.
Robot, actually, according to my opinion, robot cannot be a solution of a teacher, but they can work together. A teacher and robot, they can work together. If you give some information to the robot in the place of robot can convey all the important points to the students.
But if those many teachers are not available, what's the solution? Because our new education policy is very, very ambitious. They want to do so many things in the next 5 years. But that much infrastructure, those many teachers are not available, unfortunately.
Yes. In that case, we can implement robot also. But robot has some, they don't have that much of empathy and emotional quotient. As the children, those who are very tender. I am talking about the children, those who are between 3 to 7 years old.
Right.
Okay. So they are very tender. They need the support of teacher. Without the support of teacher, they can't go ahead. The first time they leave their home, they come to school and they want to get the affection of their mother from the teacher. You understand? So in primary section and pre-primary section, and even in nursery classes, the children, they need the support of teacher. Because teacher can make the good foundation of the child. Okay, so teacher can find out the shortcoming area of a child and they can develop the child in that area according to their whatever the lack of confidence, lack of speed, lack of writing difficulties, so many difficulties are there they have. So if you focus on that, then I think we can develop that area. So it is important. But robot, whatever the program, will just input in the robot, they will convey that much only. They cannot utilize their own emotional quotient.
Right.
Right, sir? So
fantastic point. Fantastic point. Sunita ma'am, you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. There's some problem with laptop, so I'm on the phone now. Yeah, now I can hear. I couldn't hear all this time.
So there are two points that we made during your absence. One is that there could be a shortage of teachers in the coming future if all governments decide to put hundreds and hundreds of new schools. So there would be a shortage of teachers. So in that case, Chitra ma'am recommended that we could have robots in certain cases, not always. But I want your input on, can robots teach all subjects, or are there any restrictions of subjects? What subjects maybe robots cannot teach at all? However bad the situation is, they cannot teach. What do you think?
Robots will be able to teach most of the subjects, like, maths, especially better, science subjects and maths. But when it comes to subjects like where they need to connect themselves, like the life skills, and where they have to understand, not the concept can be taught by the robots. But when it comes to understand the nitty-gritty of how to connect that, how to use that subject in their life, that is going to be very, very difficult. A robot is programmed. We'll just say whatever it has been programmed. But then when it comes to a child has certain inquiries or something which is beyond what is being programmed, the robot will not be able to do it. Yes, for maths, definitely it can help. It will help. But again, the fear which a child has, the love for the maths which comes from the teacher, that the robot will not be able to teach. Robot can be programmed. Now with so much of artificial intelligence and everybody is working into it. I know of somebody who's doing research in artificial intelligence and they are coming up with so many things. But what about the emotional attachment? Now see, you like a subject because you like the teacher. It's not because, now see, robot, you will not, it's not that the robot is teaching and you will like the subject. When we were small and even now, the teacher's impact is such that you remember that subject even if you never did well in that subject, or vice versa, you do very well in the subject where the teacher has created an impact. So what I feel for maths, chemistry, physics, yes, the robot can assist the teacher, but to create an interest in the subject, I think the teacher has to be there. And subjects, we say that, okay, life skill is not a subject, but that is there with every, when we teach English, we teach what are the values with it, what are the morals with it, what are the views about it. Can a robot do that? I don't think it can do that with the children. When they want to express their views, when they are bubbling with enthusiasm, I don't think robots will be able to do that. Mechanical teaching, concept clearing, yes, definitely the robots will be able to do it because we human beings are the ones who are creating it. That they'll be able to do it. But when it comes to attachment and when it comes to linking it with the life skills and how to integrate that in a life to meet the challenges of life. Like we were taught English, we were taught history. How this is life, this is what has happened. How in future you can, this lesson can help you to face the challenges in life. Can a robot do it? Never.
Awesome point. Awesome point. I think I loved that point about application. Concept can be taught, examples can be given by a robot, but how will a robot teach about applications in real life? I think that is, you have hit the nail on the head. Superb. Moving on to Moushami ma'am again, I want to know what could be the threats if we really deploy a robot. Forget the emotions, forget the applications. Do you think, like Hindi movies, will the robot go crazy and start attacking the children and parents? So do you think these are some of the threats or anything else you have in mind?
See, your question, if I could clarify whether the threat is robot with the teacher or robot without the teacher.
Both scenarios. You can.
Okay. In both the scenarios I can tackle. But before that, if I could add one more point to what Sunita ma'am said when you asked about the subjects. I think that will throw light on the second question that you asked me now. See, for a teacher, the subject is the child, right? And robotics is programmed for certain subjects only. And as ma'am said, the soft skill enhancement, the soft skill, preparing the child, enabling the child, making the child learn to learn is done by the teacher. So if the robot and the teacher both are there, so there is a possibility that most of the children learn fast because this is the technology era. Children learn better through technology, through mobile. So robot as an enhancement, the context, it will save time. Children will learn faster because we may not be so equipped with technology, but children are. So this is one area where we see the positivity of it, where children can learn, teacher can supplement her teaching, teacher can increase the output, the productivity will be increased if the teacher and the robot work together. And if it is only robot, as you said, which we can imagine, the threat is the social isolation of students. They will not be connected. The connection goes. See, we say in an education scenario, in the human touch, connect before you correct. So there will be no question of correction when there is no connection between humans. It is, we are all social beings as created by nature. So if that social isolation occurs, that is the biggest risk. So there will be, no wastage of energy, no wastage of time, but this social isolation may lead to some other problems in the far future, if not in the near future. Then when the thought process, the critical thinking goes off, then there is, when we say misuse of part leads to rudimentary organs. So maybe the brain function as it is, the human brain's function, a part of it functions and we think so much, we do so much, all the innovation, passion, compassion. I said three things: innovation, passion, compassion. This is all human, completely human. So when that will become reduced, the human brain becomes reduced, and there is no use of it. The application is not there because children are again becoming mechanical. Then there is no question of exploration and learning. So maybe the robots, maybe this, I'm little imaginative, the robots may be the last creation of human beings. Then after that, what? For no more innovation. So that could be one more area. And then there will be, if there is no passion, no compassion, there will be adaptability issues. Apart from social isolation, children cannot interact with each other. They won't. It may lead to a lot of chaotic situations within the organization. So that these are all soft skills. The soft skills won't be tackled. The potentials won't be harnessed. Then what? They won't be tapped. Then the creativity will not be nurtured. So it's only programming. So very soon we may have human robots. If there are robots without the teachers, and if there are robots with the teachers, there's no threat. Because the teachers we have to learn. We have to change. Changes are inevitable. We cannot sit and say, no, I cannot, I'm not capable of using technology. I did not study with the computer, with the mobile, but now I'm interacting with you. So if the teachers are empowered, if the teachers are ready to change, which they always do, learning by doing. Teachers are lifelong learners, sir. If teachers learn and adapt to the robot culture, then there is no threat. But if they don't, then I told you the possible threats, there'll be many more. Then where is the employment, unemployment? Then the social issues have to be tackled. Then we'll have many more organizations. Maybe.
So the brain itself may become a vestigial organ if unused for so long. In fact, we are observing that trend nowadays. Children are not using their brains; they're using calculators and mobile phones to.
You ask them a simple question, they ask the Google. Correct. Everybody's so Google dependent. We were not.
Absolutely. So now, despite all our thinking and all our views, we are still observing there is a trend in the market of online learning companies like Byju's, White Hat Junior, picking up steam, growing by leaps and bounds in the market. Parents rushing to teach their children coding, even if they are in 3rd standard, 4th standard. Children are forced into coding classes, and even children log on to Byju's or Vedantu to get their doubts clarified online. Through recorded lectures, pre-recorded lectures. Many times the tutor also will not be there. Only the recorded lectures would be heard, and that's about it. So, where do you think we are heading towards? Despite all discussions, I think the market is still moving towards edtech, and people are getting into online learning. Do you think this is an issue of how the market functions, or is it a parental issue, or is it something to do with our lack of education system? Proper processes in education.
Yeah, see, this is, if I have to answer this, it is all combined together. See, marketing people have to sell their products and they do it. And children inspired because maybe some 2% or 3% of the students would have got into the desired field because of these programs, these online programs. They market this, marketing people take their, use them as the marketing products, and then parents feel if my child also goes and learns there, may get through. May or may not. But then aspiration of the parents, ambition of the parents, and the kind of marketing which is going on, use of technology, globalization, everybody can see everything on the net. So these are two issues which are actually hampering the learning of students. Everything is becoming so superficial. It's like as robots, you put the formula, get the answer. So that will not work long. You see, the concept, the attitude, skill, and knowledge, ask principle has to be followed. So where is the skill? The person who marks up, it's all rote learning. And that is why all this NEP is coming into force now. So it's rote learning. The ones who can memorize more, put into the answer script, and then get marks, they are the ones who are tapped. And now it is not EQ or IQ or to EQ. It has gone to SQ and HQ. So a spiritual quotient and happiness quotient. Now tell me, how many children are happy in India in spite of the fact that they have achieved the best and more than what they wanted? So we are all responsible at some point of time or the other for this scenario now. And the new education policy, if taken properly, and we all come with a clear mind to work on and start from the scratch and renew everything. Maybe that way that will add to better scenario with the technology. Technology can be used, which we feel, there are three aspects: use, misuse, and abuse of technology. So
I'll just put in.
Sure.
Yeah, yes.
Sure.
I'll just put in a little that, see, nowadays parents are over enthusiastic and they're called as helicopter parents. They want their child to learn everything. It's not only Byju's, White Hat, they're everywhere they're put. I know of a child in my school where he said, ma'am, I don't have time to laugh. I don't have time to cry. I want to cry. I want to laugh. But my parents have put me in all these classes, so because I have to learn coding, so that when the school reopens and when we come back, I'll be ahead of others. This is what the mentality of the society is. This is the mentality of certain schools also. I'm sorry to say that we have got the toppers. Why are we stressing on that? It is because it's a vicious circle. The school demands from the children, the parents demand from the children demand from the peers. So it's a vicious circle where, they want to say that my child is the best, not realizing what does a child need. Why do you have so many broken marriages? Why do you have so many broken relationships? It's all because of this. I know of somebody, a child is not even 3.5. I have put my child in, I put my child in, and the poor child never smiles. I think we need to, it's education also. So we need to change the whole, it's a vicious circle, as I said, and we need to change the attitude and stress more on the aptitude of the child than to do, learn all this thing and join all various 100 classes. And then I think we need to educate the parents more than the children.
Right. Very nice inputs, ma'am. Chitra ma'am, would you like to add on to what Moushami ma'am and Sunita ma'am said just now?
Yes. They have talked correctly. Whatever the point they have discussed, I think I liked all the points. I agreed with them, and whatever they have told, that is really very interesting. And one more thing, just for our children, the school is very important, but the environment of the school is very important for the children, because where they get so many friends and teachers, affection of teachers, that is also very important. Understand? So that's why physical class and offline class is also very important for them. And robot, if we implement robot, then after some days, everyone will be a machine. They will work like a machine. But according to my point, if robot and teachers both work together, then we can find some improvement in our teaching process. Okay, sir? So
sure.
that I want, that robot, whatever the point the teachers are not able to make them understand the children, they can input all those things in the robot. They can install all these things in the robot. The programming can be done in robot, and robot can convey all these important points to the children. So the children will enjoy those things also, and as soon as they will learn also same thing. Okay, right. That is the collaboration between parents and teachers and robot. And children will also, I think, enjoy this new mode of teaching. And
we need to change the mindset. We need to accept that all students above 90 are not best. Everybody is unique. Everybody has to get settled in life. And most important, all children should be happy. All
Yeah.
teachers should
All
be happy,
children
all
should
children
be
should be
happy.
happy. When
And
we are
emotion-
happy, the whole world is happy, we perform better.
Yeah. And they should be free enough to convey their doubts. That I feel. They teach children, they hesitate to feel them, they to convey their doubt to the teachers. All the students should feel free enough to convey their doubts area to the children, teachers, so that teachers can help the child in that way only. But that is in our country, it is very important, not possible to find the shortcoming of each and every child. But then also, according to my opinion, if the children will convey their shortcoming and whatever the problem they are facing, they should convey to the teacher freely without any hesitation.
So actually what Rishi means to say maybe is, ma'am, the teacher should help the children and the robot should help the teacher.
Whatever robot programming he will do, that robot will convey that much. He doesn't have.
Yeah, that's what. So robot will help the teachers and teachers will help the children.
Will help the child.
Yes.
I think that's a very
Just
interesting
visualizing a
perspective.
class, sorry to say, visualize a class with only a robot, visualize a class with only a teacher, and visualize a class with robot and a teacher. So imagine the robot, no interaction. Supposing if a child is not well and has not come to school for days, there's nobody to ask that child why you were absent for so many days. And imagine in a class where there is a robot and the teacher, where the teacher can ask the child why you were absent, because these are the things which a child needs. A robot will not ask. So many times we tell our teachers that when you open the class, when you have the online class, first thing is find out, how are y'all? Did you have a good day? How was yesterday? Did you have a nice weekend? Till the robot asks, maybe it can be programmed. It'll ask, but it'll ask without feelings.
If programmed, the robot will ask. If the programming is done, robot will ask that also. How are you? How was the day and all?
No feelings. No feelings.
No feeling, nothing. No personal feeling and nothing with the robot.
No attachment.
It's a complete.
That's there. No connection, as I said, no connection.
No personal feeling and no connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a
We
very
don't
valid,
have
good
connection with
perspective.
the child.
We cannot compare with the physical teacher and the robot. Okay. That is all the humans and robot. There is a lot of difference between human and robot. So we have to accept after some years. I don't know whether what the situation will be. But anyway, according to my opinion, the robot will take some time. And I think the role of teacher is immense. There is no substitute of teacher. There is no substitute of a good teacher.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, there is no dispute to that point. Teachers play a very important role in shaping up a person's personality.
Yeah, to give a shape of a student's, teacher has a very important role, and only the teacher can feel a shortcoming and whatever the good quality and whether the child is good in academic or good in sports and good in art and culture. The teacher only can find out all this area. Okay, which a robot cannot.
Right.
Some children are not good in academic. They might very good in sports. They might have good taste in art and culture. So we have to develop the children accordingly. We cannot impose everyone on academic only.
Right.
Okay, sir.
Right.
So that is, according to my feeling, I will tell like that only.
Yes.
Because.
So I think we are running short of time. We had a very good 50 minutes of valuable discussion with very good perspective. Just to summarize what we discussed, we discussed about coexistence of teachers along with robots in the classroom, which would have actually much better impact rather than just replacing the teacher with a robot. A robot cannot teach life skills. A robot can only rattle out maybe concepts. So it is important that children go through those life skills programs with teachers, because emotions are very important in shaping up a child's personality. Let children be children. Let them live. Let them laugh. Let them cry. Let them express their emotions. So I think that is how we are going to see our children growing up. EdTech
Yes.
is here to stay.
And
E-learning is
all of
here
us
to stay. E-learning is here to stay, but we have to ensure that children don't miss out the growing years and use e-learning productively for their learning and not with the fear of missing out. I think parents should note that fear of missing out should not be there because others are learning, my child should learn coding. Rather, expose the child to multiple things which he is interested in or he might get interested in, but don't enforce it. That I would like to conclude this wonderful session on the weekend. And ma'am, all three madams, thank you very much for your valuable contribution. Thank you for giving time to this discussion today, and have a good weekend ahead.